All right, so some more tips about artist bio before we have look at some exceptions to the rules, which I'm sure you all are interested in. So it should sound like someone else is writing about you, like I said, and someone hopefully that's passionate about your work. Don't undersell yourself. I've seen many bios that say something like, um, Bethany Stewart is an emerging artist, or Bethany Stewart will be presenting in 2022 and it will be my first time showing my work. I'm not saying you should lie by leaving those out. I'm saying don't use your precious real estate of 50 words, 75 words, 100 words to apologize for what you haven't done yet. Use that precious, precious real estate, because you don't have many words to talk about yourself, to talk about what you have done or what you are doing or what you are influenced by. You don't have to say you're emerging. They're going to see on your resume what you've done and what you haven't done, right? So you don't need to point it out to them. And that's not lying. That's just, using those words for yourself, to advocate for yourself rather than against yourself. So in short, have confidence and write confidently. And then also, if you can, which is, I will say is harder to do in shorter word limits, but if you can, try to have the tone of your bio match the tone of your art. And I think that Mary Simmons example, especially the 50-word one where she was able to talk about her work working at Disneyland and having Disney magic in her music, and then that her work is called Wind in the Willows, you start to get a sense for who she is. And then I'll have another example here in a minute that does it really beautifully as well. So if you have a certain personality to your artwork, even if it's maybe different than your own personal personality, maybe try to capture that a little bit as you write about yourself. All right, so a couple exceptions. The first exception is a bio from a dance performer's website. And in her website, she has an artist statement that details very beautifully her inspirations. She also has, links to different works and things, and that's very, her talking about her art is very present on her website. That's sort of like the first thing that you see. So on the bio page, she really sticks to the facts. So you can see here, her bio is a chronological listing of her career in accomplishments. And she does cover the facts of who she is and what she does and where she's at, but it's mostly just going through like, okay, this is where I started in New York. I did some things in Mexico City, then I moved to Portland, and then I started a nonprofit, I started collaborations, and these are the people that have supported me. That's really it. It's very much a narrative version of her resume, and it's very long, but it's her website, so she can do that. And she feels like maybe she doesn't have a resume on her website, and she's like, hey, I'm just gonna do it in narrative form and point out the things that I'm most proud of. And that's perfectly fine because it's an informal context, and that's what she needs based on the other things that appear around that bio. So it's filling a void for her. Then there's the opposite, where this is an author who on her website, it's basically a portfolio of the different things that she's done, and the different tabs convey like her accomplishments, the different things that she's done. There's even links to some of her writings that she's done. Some of like the some of them exist as online maps and things like that, so she has links in there. So what she does is well documented, her accomplishments are well documented, but there's nothing with personality except for her bio, and this is her website. And so she decides to write a bio that really, really matches her style of writing and also what she writes about. So here it is. She starts, there were no woods on Wood Street in Braddock, Pennsylvania, where I grew up, nor any connection to the natural world. She writes about nature for like national parks and things. And so she's automatically saying, I didn't grow up around nature, but that's what I write about now, right? And then she goes into, she also didn't grow up around books, but she was able to get all these books. Then she was sort of labeled as a scholarly sort. She went to college. She does say she got a degree. And then where she lives now, surrounded by all this nature and the types of nature around her. She's sort of showing off how well she can talk about nature and write about nature, because that's what she does in this same style. So it matches very, very well. And then she talks about her travels, her adventures. And then we get to the sentence, which is, rounded in experience, my writings, maps, and interactive projects link nature with science, history, and health. Great, perfect, concise sentence in this lovely narrative that she's got going on, that says what she does. And then that last sentence is sort of like a current work sentence, but not quite. So she says, I'm the founder of this. And again, that would be a great place to say if you're a business owner as well, in that last sentence. So, and this one's written in first person, right? So it even breaks that rule. But again, her website, her rules. And I do say, I mean, just as a general rule, it's not like your website has no bounds, because you do want to keep it short enough where someone actually wants to read it, but you also want to make it interesting enough where someone wants to read it, and try to appeal to your ideal audience for your website. So for her, it's someone who wants to read her work, and it makes sense that she went this route, more the personal story, interesting story route.